Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. We are at Thursday now. And this week, we don't have just one teacher that leads us into our daily meditation, but a whole range of beautiful wisdom to draw from as we get ready for today's journey. Good morning, Danae. Good morning, Sunmuddy. Hello. Awesome seeing you. Right, let's get into today's thoughts. Imagine holding a precious jewel up to the light. You turn it slowly, inspecting its every facet, its beauty unveiled with each new angle. This is the essence of becoming the effortless observer. A practice that empowers you to navigate your inner world and also the world around you with newfound freedom. Anne-Marie, good morning. Shabs, good morning. Happy Thursday. Awesome having you all here. A thought from Kleykamp says, in the beginning, as you embark on this journey of trying to deal with your inner world and outer world in a better way, in the beginning you will fall into the gaps between thoughts, and after practicing for years, you become the gap between thoughts. Ray Dalio says, when you are centered, your emotions are not hijacking you. Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, Colette. Hello. Awesome seeing you. These two quotes come together for me beautifully, and I was recently reminded of this connection by a friend called Nathan. So I'll attribute the next one to him. This is by Nathan. He says, the goal is not to manage your emotions. The goal is to manage how you respond to your emotions. The goal is not to manage your emotions. The goal is to manage how you respond to your emotions. If you were not able to change the fact that you are experiencing emotions, if for the foreseeable future you are guaranteed to continue feeling the exact same feelings that you do, would you be able to make peace with that? That the emotions you feel might not change? Let me shine the light from a slightly different angle. If you continue to experience the same emotions, but you have managed to change how you feel towards those emotions, would that be helpful? Ray Dalio's words about not being hijacked by your emotions doesn't mean not feeling the feels, but being in a space where you can take a step back and look at these feelings without being captured by them. Like holding a gem up to the light so you can inspect it from all the angles. How do you find that space? The space of freedom in which you can hold up a feeling and take an honest look at it. Not to judge it, but to understand it. This is the space that Kleykamp talks about, falling into the gaps between thoughts. Realizing that a thought is something we can stand apart from and observe. It is from this space between thoughts where we realize the thought is not who I am. That we can take a look at the thought and the emotion and become interested in understanding how this is created. And by looking and understanding, a new or different response to our emotions becomes possible. With practice, that space grows bigger until we become the gap. In being the curious observer of our thoughts and feelings, this becomes our natural state. There are many possible paths to this destination. The most guaranteed route that I know is daily meditation. Becoming the effortless observer of your own emotional states is a sure outcome if you stick to it. So if you're ready, today's meditation is called the observer. Let's slip away. Close your eyes and start with a few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in. And out. Take a deep breath in. And out. A deep inhale. And let it go. Deep breath in. And out. One more big breath in. And let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine, lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, and let all of it go. As you exhale, soften. As you breathe out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and drop your head. While you continue your own full body breathing, let's have this discussion again. A discussion around thoughts and feelings, and feeling the way we feel. If you were not able to change the fact that you experience the emotions that you do, if for the foreseeable future you are guaranteed to continue feeling the exact same feelings that you do, would you be able to make peace with that? And perhaps that's something you've already done. Not minding the feelings that rise up within you. Or perhaps You're not quite there yet. I'll ask the question in a slightly different way. Don't forget to continue your full body breathing. If you continue to experience the same emotions, but you have managed to change how you feel towards those emotions, would that be helpful? You see, the one thing that we learn beyond anything else as the observer is that all of these things pass. They eventually shift, and then we feel different. It's almost like being a spectator, being an observer, being an audience member watching a play unfold on stage. And often our inner world, our emotional world, is depicted as this stage. While you're sitting in the audience and watching the actors on the stage, you might see in the first act a comedy unfold. Would you want to change it? Or are you happy to just observe it? And in the second act, as a member of the audience, you might observe a drama unfold on this stage. Would you want to change it, interfere, and make this drama go away and say, no, bring back the comedy, take away the drama? Or would you simply be the observer, knowing that at some point what's happening on the stage changes again? We get better at being this observer and watching the stage of our own inner world, where a range of emotions come to play. As the observer, the one thing we understand more deeply than anything else is that whatever I'm experiencing will shift. And then I'll experience the next thing. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch and adjust and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward. Roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left, and forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. Lean your upper body over to the left and also lean your upper body over to the right. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least as much as we can get ourselves there, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, then with every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips in and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in. And hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath. hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, I want you to bring this idea of being the observer, being the spectator in the audience, watching the unfolding of a play, or watching the unfolding of emotions at play. Take your next big breath. I want you to bring to your mind an example, perhaps from your recent past. It might be the last week, or perhaps a week or two ago. And if you can't find such a recent example, then search further back. The example I'm asking for is a moment of you reacting to something, some person, some situation, some driver, or perhaps even your own reaction to yourself, your reaction to your emotions. I'm asking for an example where your reaction might not have been so helpful, where you were sucked into the emotions of the moment, and where you were reacting from those emotions. Can you find such an example where your emotions were in control and your actions, your words, and even the next thoughts were all hijacked by the emotion or the trigger you felt in that moment? As you take your next big breath, open yourself to finding that example. Take a deep breath in. I always like using recent examples because they're fresh in our memory, and then we can kind of rehearse them again and observe how we do it better. But just for interest, my own example, the one that came to mind right now, is from 5 years ago. So if you find older examples to work with, that's totally okay. So with your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, as an observer, I want you to look at that example as if the same situation is playing out again and you are an audience member observing the situation playing out. Watch it again. Take your next big breath. We're going to remind ourselves of this situation, this moment, as vividly as we can. As this was playing out, and as you were on the verge of reacting in an unhelpful way, can you remember the thoughts that were going through your mind? Can you remember what you were thinking about this situation? About the other person, about yourself, just before you reacted. See if you can remind yourself of the thinking process that happened. Take your next big breath. And then in that moment of reacting in an unhelpful way, a moment of feeling triggered, could you take a step back and look at your body language? What was your body language like in that moment? What were your arms and your hands doing? Take your next big breath. And then in that moment of experiencing big emotions, of feeling triggered, if you were to be the observer looking at your own facial expression, what would the facial expression look like in that moment? And what might have been the words that came out of your mouth? Take your next big breath. Are you able to observe all of this without judgment, with no criticism, simply curiosity and understanding? If you are able to, that's really beautiful. And that is what gives you the freedom to choose differently in future. If you're not able to put down the judgment and the criticism yet, well, the fact that you are here means you're getting better at it. But understand that the thing that will give you the freedom to actually make the changes you want to change is the absence of judgment, the absence of criticism. Let's look into the future for a moment and do a little bit of a rehearsal. If the same set of circumstances or a very similar set of circumstances were to come around again, how would you want to do it differently? In this moment, you're not triggered. In this moment, you're quite objective. How would it go differently next time? In that moment where the trigger did happen in the past, and you understand your thoughts that led to the trigger, what would you like your thoughts to be this time? How would you want your thoughts to be different? And I'll ask this in a different way as well. What is the conversation you would like to have inside with yourself as the same situation repeats itself again? What would you want to say to you? Take your next big breath. If the same situation were to repeat itself again, what would you want your body language to look like? Take your next big breath. And if the same situation were to play itself out again, what would you want the expression on your face to be? What are the words that you'd want to speak if a similar situation presented itself again? Take your next big breath. You do have the power to choose differently next time. And sometimes It catches us in a moment of weakness, and we might still repeat an old pattern once again. But you'll do the same afterwards. You'll catch yourself afterwards and remind yourself, without judgment, without criticism, that you would like to do this differently. Small steps, and we get better at this. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath holding space and into the next. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a long, slow exhale and feel how softness slips in and settles in every part of your body. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back, or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. The first thought from today's message was from Kleykamp. He says, in the beginning you will fall into the gaps between thoughts. After practicing for years, you become the gap. Ray Dalio says, when you are centered, your emotions are not hijacking you. And Nathan says, the goal is not to manage your emotions. The goal is to manage how you respond to your emotions. If you were not able to change the fact that you experience the emotions that you do, if for the foreseeable future you are guaranteed to continue feeling the exact same feelings that you do, would you be able to make peace with that? Let me shine the light from a slightly different angle. If you continue to experience the same emotions, but you have managed to change how you feel towards those emotions, would that be helpful? And slowly, we become better able to be this observer, even in the moment of an altercation with another angry human. In that moment, we feel the space, the spaciousness to not have to react. We feel that we actually have space to take a breath before we say or do anything. We understand in that moment that the human we're dealing with, they're being hijacked by their emotions, and we have the option to not be hijacked by ours. In that moment, we can choose a softer response. Or perhaps we can feel ourselves not able to have the softer response, and we can go, I'm going to have to get back to you on this one. I need a moment. Perhaps I even need a day. And then I'll come back and we'll have this conversation again. Be really kind to yourself in the moments where an old emotion hijacks you and you were not able to feel that space. But I'm sure if you look at examples, you must see that you are doing better. And that's all we can ask for, continuously doing a little bit better. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for a moment, this moment, to create some spaciousness within me. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for being able to look back years into the past and see a clear difference in the spaciousness I mostly experience, even in a triggered moment. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to take a breath, how to take a little bit of time before I respond, and to really not mind to say, I'll have to have this conversation later, because right now I feel like I'm going to be too reactive. Take a deep breath in. And most of all, thank you for being kind to myself in the moments where I sometimes still don't nail it. I know I'm doing better. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for being on this journey with us. Thank you, Shabs. I do have to get back to my Facebook inbox again, yes. Thanks for the reminder. Thank you, Danae. Have a beautiful day. Thank you, Pat. Have an awesome flight. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Sunmarie. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Thank you, Danae. Linda, good morning. It's awesome seeing you. Have a beautiful day, everyone. I hope that being the effortless observer comes to you today. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.